27-year-old woman shot to death by reputed husband at Diamond home. Police have arrested Marlon Da Silva, a 32-year-old businessman, in connection with the shooting death of his 27-year-old reputed wife, Kenesha Vaughn, at their home in Diamond, East Coast, Demerara. Vaughn suffered 12 gunshot wounds during the incident, which occurred on Saturday night amid an argument. According to police reports, Da Silva returned home around 8 p.m. after spending several hours at a city bar. He and Vaughn reportedly argued after she called him while he was out, urging him to come home. The argument escalated when Da Silva allegedly slapped Vaughn, prompting her to grab a knife and approach him. In response, Da Silva reportedly drew his licensed firearm and shot Vaughn multiple times. Following the shooting, he called the police as Vaughn lay bleeding on the floor. Despite being rushed to the Diamond Hospital, she succumbed to her injuries during treatment. Police detectives found 4 9mm shell casings and 3 suspected projectiles at the scene. Da Silva was taken into custody, and a breathalyzer test revealed an alcohol content of 83%, significantly above the legal limit of 35%. The investigation is ongoing. Eccles man, 56, dies in mining pit accident. Newsroom: Harry Critchlow, a 56-year-old resident of Eccles, East Bank, Demerara, tragically lost his life on Saturday after being struck by a falling tree in a mining pit. The accident occurred around 10 a.m. at Thomas Island, Puruni River, Region 7. The mining site is operated by Sherwin Herman, a 37-year-old resident of Grove Squatting Area, who had employed Critchlow to work in the pit. According to police reports, Critchlow was working in the mining pit when a tree stump fell, striking him on the head and rendering him unconscious. The injury proved to be fatal. Herman, who was at his camp at the time, was informed of the incident around 11 a.m. Detectives interviewed several individuals who were working in the pit when the accident occurred. They confirmed the events as reported and provided formal statements. Following the initial investigation, Critchlow's body was transported from the scene to Itabali Landing early Sunday morning. The investigation into the incident is ongoing. Fatal accident involving 17-year-old unlicensed driver and 32-year-old motorcyclist. Police are investigating a tragic accident that occurred around 3:52 p.m. today on the eastern carriageway of Tacuba Public Road in Meadowbrook, Georgetown. The incident resulted in the death of a 32-year-old motorcyclist. The accident involved motorcar #PYY3577, a Nissan Note, driven by a 17-year-old unlicensed driver from Meadowbrook Drive, and motorcycle #CL2067, a red 110 Haujue owned and operated by Bretnall Greenidge, a resident of Bamboo Drive, Meadowbrook, Georgetown. Initial investigations revealed that the car was traveling south along the eastern side of the carriageway while the motorcyclist was heading north on the western side, notably without a safety helmet. As both vehicles approached one another, the driver of the Nissan Note alleged that the motorcyclist was swerving on the road in a zigzag manner. The cyclist reportedly lost control after sliding on sand on the road surface, causing him to fall into the path of the car. Emergency services were called to the scene, and EMTs arrived shortly after. Greenidge was examined but was pronounced dead at the scene by Dr. Kissoon. The investigation into the accident is ongoing. President Ali to replace Rowley as head of CARICOM Subcommittee on Cricket. Newsroom: President Dr. Irfan Ali of Guyana has been appointed to succeed Dr. Keith Rowley as the new chairman of the CARICOM Subcommittee on Cricket. The announcement was made by Dr. Rowley during the final day of the 48th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Barbados. In his closing remarks, Dr. Rowley noted that this would be his last CARICOM meeting as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. He expressed his confidence in Dr. Ali, stating, "Today I handed over to the plenary selected, or agreed to select, my colleague from Guyana, who is an eminent cricketer, as you know, President Dr. Irfan Ali, to now take the chairmanship of the Subcommittee on Cricket." Dr. Rowley emphasized the ongoing interest in the potential for West Indies cricket to maintain its international standing and the importance of preserving the region's cricketing legacy. He urged heads of government to remain engaged with developments in West Indies cricket and to offer their support. During the 3-day meeting, cricket was a topic of discussion, although not extensively. Dr. Rowley indicated that some progress had been made in previous discussions held in Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago regarding the sport. He stated, "In recent times, we have not been having heads of government meetings without having a component from West Indies cricket. We did have some discussion, not too much detail, because we have done some work before in Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago, and we've seen some results." The transition in leadership marks a continued commitment to enhancing the state of cricket in the Caribbean. Guyana did not sign any third-party country deportee arrangement with U.S. VP. Guyana Times. Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo addressed claims regarding Guyana's involvement in accepting deportees from the United States who are citizens of other countries, stating that no such agreement exists. During a press conference on Thursday, Jagdeo clarified, "In terms with how many from third-party countries will come to Guyana, there is no agreement on anyone from third-party coming to Guyana. There is no such agreement." When questioned about the number of Guyanese citizens expected to be deported, he mentioned that the United States has not provided any figures regarding the deportations. "We have made it clear that whatever the number is, once they're Guyanese, we will welcome our people home," he affirmed. This statement comes in the context of U.S. President Donald Trump's mass deportation plan aimed at addressing undocumented migration. Countries such as Costa Rica and Panama have reportedly agreed to serve as bridge or transit countries for deportees, with the U.S. covering all related costs. In Panama, deportees are held in hotels while international authorities arrange their return to their home countries, according to reports from the Associated Press. As of February, U.S. media has reported a total of 5,693 deportations. Six unclaimed bodies at GPHC mortuary. Kaider News. The Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, has announced that there are currently 6 unclaimed bodies at its mortuary and is urging relatives of the deceased to come forward. In a public notice published in the Saturday edition of the Stabroek News, GPHC provided details about the individuals. Rowaila Torres, 13 years old. Residence, Pomeroon River, Region 2. Date of death, January 23, 2025. Next of kin contact, 7213491. Marielise Gonzalez, 28 years old. Residence, Montrose, East Coast Demerara. Date of death, December 3, 2024. Next of kin contact, Victoria La Cruz, 7210095. Viram Singh, 57 years old. Date of death, January 27, 2024. Next of kin information, not provided. Ramdat, unknown age. Date of death, January 1, 2025. Next of kin information, not provided. Vasco Hopkinson, 58 years old. Residence, Lot 489 East Ruimveldt, Georgetown. Date of death, January 31, 2025. Next of kin information, not provided. Unknown Venezuelan female. Details unavailable. Dr. Navindranath Rambaran, Director of Medical and Professional Services at GPHC, previously confirmed that the hospital has a systematic approach for dealing with unclaimed bodies. This involves notifying the Records Department and subsequently the Public Relations Department if a body remains unclaimed for 1 week. After a reasonable period, typically 2 weeks, the hospital considers the body unclaimed and may proceed with arrangements for a state burial. Dr. Rambaran noted the challenges in contacting families, particularly when individuals are admitted unconscious or with serious injuries. The hospital's social work department strives to trace families based on available information, but communication barriers often complicate these efforts. GPHC is appealing to the public for assistance in identifying and claiming these individuals. "2025 MASH celebrations attract thousands." The streets of Georgetown came alive as thousands of enthusiastic patrons gathered to witness the Mashramani float parade on Sunday. Revelers donned creatively curated costumes, dancing their way down Church Street and onto Vlissingen Road, while onlookers lined the pavements, immersed in the vibrant explosion of culture, colors, and creativity on display. Mashramani, a much-anticipated cultural event, brings together Guyanese and tourists from all walks of life to celebrate. The festive atmosphere was enhanced by the aroma of Guyanese delicacies and beverages available along the parade route, coupled with pulsating music blaring from speakers. Government agencies and the private sector participated in the national event, showcasing various bands. Several ministries, including the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, Ministry of Housing and Water, Ministry of Public Works, Office of the Prime Minister, Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Tourism Industry and Commerce, displayed their extravagant floats. The Department of Public Information, DPI, caught up with several participating ministries and onlookers who shared their excitement. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Sonia Parag, who led her ministry's band with over 100 revelers, explained that their float depicted solid waste management, aligning with their theme, Cleaner Communities for a Brighter and Prosperous Guyana. An event like this always brings out all the ethnic groups, and it's really a gathering where people enjoy each other and come under one umbrella to celebrate, and that's something that we want to promote, Minister Parag expressed. DPI also spoke with Kathy Martin, the event coordinator of the Ministry of Agriculture, who enthusiastically described the ministry's costumes, which showcased new agricultural products now being produced locally, such as cauliflower, roses, and soya. Usually we do traditional, such as sugar and rice, but this year we are coming different, bringing out our new products, Martin stated. Onlookers also shared their experiences. Sergio Rodriguez from Colombia expressed amazement at all that Guyana has to offer and noted that he was having a wonderful time. Cap Yes from the United States shared that this was his first Mashramani experience, stating, "I've been to the steel pan contest, the Calypso Monarch, and now the parade. I'm really enjoying it." He added that the collective contributions to the celebrations made it quite unique. Mashramani 2025 is celebrated under the theme, Expressing Our Culture and Creativity as One Guyana. Cattle owners urged to secure livestock amid rising road accidents. Guyana Times. The Guyana Police Forces, GPF, Traffic Department is urging cattle owners to properly secure their animals, following an incident where 4 cows were struck and killed on the East Bank Public Road in the early hours of Friday morning. The tragic event has reignited concerns about stray livestock posing serious hazards to motorists, particularly on highways where speeding is common. During a recent episode of the televised program Road Safety and You, Traffic Officer of Division 4B, East Bank Demerara, EBD, Inspector Michael Ramdas emphasized the dangers of loose animals on public roads, stressing that owners must take responsibility for securing their livestock. "We are asking, if you are minding your animals, please don't leave them on the roadway to sleep in the night, or have them all over the place. Get a pasture or pen and keep your animals inside," he urged. Inspector Ramdas also expressed concerns over a growing trend among cattle owners who deliberately avoid branding their livestock, complicating efforts to determine ownership in the event of an accident or theft. If by chance cattle rustlers get these animals, let's say they steal them, how will you identify them? He questioned. The dangers posed by stray animals extend beyond property damage to the potential loss of human life. If a motorcycle hits one of these animals, it might cost them their life, Inspector Ramdas warned. Given the high speeds at which vehicles travel, particularly at night, the presence of animals on the road significantly increases the risk of fatal collisions. Authorities are also calling on drivers to exercise increased caution, especially in areas where livestock may be present. The unpredictability of loose animals, combined with reduced visibility at night, creates hazardous conditions for both drivers and pedestrians. Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, NRSC, Earl Lambert, acknowledged the concerns raised by the public, noting that many road users have reported incidents of cattle straying onto highways, especially along the Heroes Highway and other major routes. He emphasized that road safety is a shared responsibility, urging both motorists and cattle owners to contribute to preventing accidents. Traffic ranks are conducting enforcement exercises along the East Bank corridor, particularly in high-risk areas. However, officers stress that the issue can only be fully addressed if livestock owners take proactive steps to secure their animals and prevent them from roaming onto public roads. "This is a warning and a message, and I hope that you adhere to it," Lambert stated. With road safety emerging as a growing concern, officials are calling on the public to report instances of stray animals on major roadways and support efforts aimed at reducing road fatalities. Nighttime reckless driving contributing to road deaths. Guyana Times. The Guyana Police Force, GPF, has announced that most fatal accidents are occurring at night, as reckless driving surges when police presence is lower. The revelation was made during the Road Safety and You program on Friday. Speaking on the program, Traffic Officer of Regional Division 4B, East Bank Demerara, EBD, Inspector Ramdas highlighted that a pattern has emerged in which road users disregard speed limits and safety measures once night falls. If you follow the pattern of fatal accidents, most of these fatal accidents happen in the night, from like 6 to 12 or 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or early in the morning, Inspector Ramdas stated. He explained that during the day, ongoing road construction slows down traffic, reducing the likelihood of serious crashes. However, at night, with fewer vehicles and no active construction work, drivers take advantage of the open roads, often leading to disastrous consequences. Comparing last year's road deaths to this year, the inspector confirmed that the numbers have already tripled. From last year, we had one single fatal accident to date. From this year, from January to date, we have had 3 fatal accidents, he revealed. Authorities are pleading with drivers to reduce their speed and exercise caution, especially in construction zones. We have seen an increase in accidents, and I am begging road users to slow down. Take your time on the road. The road is under construction. There's a lot of potholes that have water and all these things. Slow down. Take your time on the road. Use the road with caution and save a life, the inspector urged. Despite efforts by law enforcement to educate drivers and crack down on reckless driving, some continue to put their lives and others at risk. Traffic officers continue to monitor high-risk areas, but they stress that road safety ultimately depends on individual responsibility. In a bid to curb speeding and enhance road safety, the Guyana Police Force, GPF, in collaboration with the National Data Management Authority, NDMA, has recently installed speed radar signs along several highways. According to Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh, these radars act as a preventative measure, alerting drivers in real time when they exceed the speed limit, allowing them to adjust accordingly. Singh emphasized that the initiative is not intended to capture photos of speeding vehicles but to help motorists, especially those unfamiliar with certain areas, maintain safe speeds. This project forms part of the government's broader strategy to use technology and data to improve traffic management. It follows President Dr. Irfan Ali's announcement last December about erecting digital speed advisories and ramping up enforcement with body cameras for traffic ranks and CCTV footage to catch errant drivers.